Good morning friends and welcome back. We have started a series on plastic analysis. In this we have completed 4 sessions till date, 4 video lectures, and I have got a very good response to this. Thank you very much. If you are new to this channel, please do subscribe, and if you feel any difficulties while understanding the concepts, do feel free to write in the comment section. Thank you. Now we shall start with our next session, plastic analysis. Now before actually starting with the plastic analysis, we need to understand some basic concepts from this. One of them is collapse load. Okay, so today we shall discuss the concept of collapse load. What is collapse load? When do we say a structure is about to collapse? It is when a member, one member or multiple members or the complete structure is undergoing excessive deformation, unlimited deformation, that is deformation which is beyond its limits. Okay, so when this situation arrives, we say the structure is going to collapse. And when this situation arrives, what will be the condition? In civil engineering terms, when a structure is going to collapse, one condition has to arrive, and that is number of independent static equilibrium equations is equal to more than this number of independent static equilibrium equations are more than number of reaction components available. So when this situation arrives, then we say that structure is going to collapse. And when this situation arrives, we say that collapse mechanism has occurred. What is collapse mechanism? Collapse mechanism is a situation when structure is going to collapse. So what is the situation? Number of independent static equilibrium equations are more than number of reaction components. So when we evaluate load corresponding to this collapse mechanism, we say that particular load is collapse load. Okay, load evaluated corresponding to collapse mechanism is known as collapse load. This collapse load is also known as ultimate load carrying capacity of member. Okay, collapse load, it is also known as ultimate load carrying capacity of the member. But are we really going to allow the structure to collapse? No, it may collapse due to accidents like earthquakes or some collision of some heavy particle to the structure. Okay, so we as an engineer do not allow any structure to collapse. So what we need to do is we should see that collapse load does not occur, or the structure is not subjected to collapse load. Hence, we estimate what is collapse load by different methods and theorems, and we apply to this a factor. Okay, so we should see that the structures are subjected to only a fraction of collapse load. Okay, fraction of collapse load and not the complete collapse load, because it will be endangering the structures. So fraction of collapse load. So this collapse load is, fraction of collapse load is nothing but working load. So we apply some load factor to this collapse load so that we get working load. Okay. So we can define mathematically collapse load as load factor multiplied by working load. Okay. Collapse load is equal to load factor multiplied by working load. Now this load factor is a factor used specifically in plastic analysis. If you remember, in strength of materials you have used one term called factor of safety, correct? Factor of safety. What is factor of safety? Yield stress upon working stress. Factor of safety is yield stress upon working stress. This is used in elastic analysis. On the other hand, in plastic analysis we use load factor. Okay, it is used in plastic analysis. So this is the concept of collapse load. Now there are different methods to determine collapse load and some theorems. Now we shall discuss these theorems first. Hello friends, now we shall continue with the theorems that are used to estimate collapse load. So there are three theorems. So we shall read what are the statements for all those three theorems one by one, and we shall try to understand them. So first theorem is static theorem. I shall read the statement for this. This is simple. Try to understand. For a given structure and loading, if there exists any distribution of bending moment throughout the structure which is both safe and statically admissible with a set of loads W. In this situation, value of W must be less than or equal to collapse load WC. Now we have seen just now what is collapse load WC, which is load factor multiplied by working load. So when you are estimating the collapse load using this theorem, then that load has to be less than or equal to WC. So this is the condition it should satisfy. W is less than or equal to WC. Now there are two terms in this, or two conditions we say. One is statically admissible, it is it. Okay, it is both safe and statically admissible. Now what is statically admissible? Statically admissible means bending moment diagram of the structure satisfies static equilibrium conditions. It means summation fx, summation fy, summation of moments and so on for a 2D structure. Another condition is safe. It should be. So second condition is safe. One is statically admissible. This we have just explained or seen. Another is safe. So what is safe? At no point, that is at any instant, bending moment is more than plastic moment capacity of the section. It means whenever you calculate bending moment, it should not be more than plastic moment capacity of the section. So how to find out plastic moment capacity, that we shall see later. But whenever bending moment which is constant, okay, as per the assumption of plastic analysis, bending moment which is constant throughout is more than plastic moment capacity of the section. This should not happen. This is what the point safe is, or this is what the explanation for safe is. Bending moment should not be more than plastic moment capacity. At no point bending moment is more than plastic moment capacity. So another name for this theorem is lower bound theorem. Lower bound theorem. So static theorem is also known as lower bound theorem. So in case of this theorem, you remember two conditions: statically admissible and safe. That's it. Okay. Now we will go to next condition or next theorem, kinematic theorem. What is kinematic theorem? I'll read out again the statement. For a given structure subjected to a set of loads or subject to a set of loads, value of W found to correspond to any assumed mechanism be either greater or equal to collapse load. So W estimated should be more than or equal to WC, and this is also known as upper bound theorem. So this is self-explanatory. There is only one condition, that is value of W found from this mechanism should be more than or equal to collapse load. W is more than or equal to WC. So what is the difference between static theorem and kinematic theorem? Here W is less than or equal to WC, and here W is more than or equal to WC. So this is second theorem for estimating collapse load. Now third is uniqueness theorem. What is uniqueness theorem? It is nothing but the combination of first and second. Uniqueness theorem is combination of static theorem and kinematic theorem. So what does it say? If for a given structure and loading, at least one safe and statically admissible bending moment distribution. So one condition from static theorem can be found, and in this distribution bending moment is equal to fully plastic moment. Bending moment is equal to fully plastic moment at enough cross sections to cause failure of the structure due to unlimited rotations at plastic hinges. Then the corresponding load will be equal to collapse load. So this is simple. It is combination of the two values. So it should be load should be equal to collapse load. Here is also either greater or equal. So this is one condition from kinematic theorem, and another condition is safe and statically admissible from static theorem. So uniqueness theorem is nothing but combination of static theorem and kinematic theorem. Now we shall start with plastic analysis of the members, that is beams and portal frames. So there are two methods to carry out plastic analysis of beams and frames. One is statical method. So when to use statical method? Statical method is to be used when we know the exact shape of bending moment diagram. So we can say that single span beams are the members whose bending moment diagram's exact shape is known to us irrespective of loading. If load point load is there, triangular shape is there. If uniformly distributed load is there, then parabolic is the shape. Then if varying load is there, then either convex curve or concave curve. This is the shape of the bending moment diagram, and so on. But you cannot use this method for portal frames. Why? Why not? Because we cannot judge the exact shape of a portal frame subjected to any random loading. Okay, so for that we need another method which is known as kinematic method. Okay, so statical method, it is only for single span beams. Kinematic method, it is for both single span beam, multi-span beam, as well as portal frames. So we shall now concentrate on kinematic method to find out or to carry out plastic analysis of beams and frames in the next sessions. Thank you.